Hey guys, Mrs. Myers here. You're going to need a colored pencil, a regular pencil, and your math interactive notebook to complete these next tasks. Pause the video if you don't have those materials. Alrighty, let's get started. If you could turn your interactive notebook to page 25, there's some things we need to add to the page. The 5 problems that are on the screen, you're going to need to write the problems down on page 25, and then you're going to solve them at another time. So pause the video to copy the math problems. Alrighty, we're on to page 28 right now. We're going to go through the 2 flip books at the top of the page. We're going to start with the yellow one, multiplying by 1-digit numbers. So if you could open up that top flap, you should see the math problem 24 times 5, just like you see on my screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our colored pencil and we are going to trace over the math that is getting done in each particular step. So if you see at the top of my screen here that we've got 5 times 4 is 20. Okay, so what I'd like you to do with your colored pencil, this is our first step. We're going to multiply the 5 factor on the bottom by the 4 factor on the top. And 5 times 4 is 20. Now we are going to move on. Knowing our answer is 20, we're going to move on to the next part of the problem. So flip up your flip book. 5 times 4 is 20. We kept that in our head. We're going to put the 0 in 20, the ones place, under the ones column, and we're going to carry that 2 to the tens place because the 2 in 20 is in the tens place. Okay? So the written directions there on your flap tell you to do just what we did together. All right, last step, flip to the third piece of your foldable. Okay, so at this point, we have multiplied 4 times 5 and gotten 20. We wrote down our 0, we carried our 2. Now our next step is to multiply the 5 times 2. Well, 5 times 2 is 10. Now we have to remember to add on that 2 at the top. 5 times 2 is 10. You can see that here. We're going to add the extra 2 that we carried, and we end up with 12. Now we don't have anywhere to carry the 1, so we're just going to write our 12 right there in the answer bar. Okay, and our answer is 120. Let's do a quick estimate to make sure that that makes sense. 24 is close to 20. 20 times 5 is 100. We're in good shape. Let's move on. Now we're on to the tan foldable at the top of page 28. Let's do this one together. Our first step, as you can see, is 3 times 5 is 15. So we're going to take the 3, multiply it by the 5. We're going to write our answer down as 15. Okay, we're going to carry that 1. Alrighty, flip to the next page. Now we are going to multiply 3 times 4. I hope you're using your colored pencil as I am. 3 times 4 is 12, plus the 1 that we had carried. 12 plus 1 is 13. We're going to write that 3 and carry that 1 to the next place value. Okay, I should have recopied what we had from before. Okay, so I'm going to do that for you. Now, last step, again, I'm going to recopy what we had from before. Our last step here is to multiply 3 times 3 is 9. We had 1 carried from our step before, and 9 plus 1 is 10. We have nowhere to carry the tens digit of the 10, that 1 to. So we're just going to write it right down there. Let's double check that our answer makes sense. 345 is close to 300. 300 times 3 is 900. That looks about right. Okay. One more step in this video. Okay, we're going to go to, all right, I'm having trouble moving my pages here. Okay, so the multiplication clock question. At the bottom of page 28, you are going to complete a multiplication clock question. Remember, you can find the clock question options at the front of your interactive notebook. Okay, your topic is multiplying double or triple digits by a single digit. You're going to choose a clock question that shows your understanding of the topic. You're going to work neatly and show 5th grade quality work. You're going to do this task at the bottom of Interactive Notebook, page 28, below the flip books that we just worked through. Okay, let's move on to page 29. If you've noticed, I have color-coded the math problems on page 29 into 3 different levels. The pink level is the first row 1 through 5, as well as number 11, because all we're doing is multiplying by a single digit on the bottom. You can do that. We just went through the steps. Now, the level 2 questions, number 7, number 9, and number 10, each have a hint with them. Let's go through these, okay? All right, so I'm looking at number 7 right now. I'm looking at number 7. Are you looking at number 7? Well, our first step would be multiply 7 times 2, which is 14, right? Okay. We drop our 4, carry the 1. 3 times 7 is 21, plus that 1 is 22. Okay. So we have 224. Now, there's another step here. 17 is built of a 7 and a 10. We've multiplied 32 by 7 already. But now we've got to multiply 32 by 10. Can we do that? Of course we can. So now 32 times 10 is 320, right? So 224 plus 320 is going to give you your answer. I'm wondering if you can apply that situation to number 9. Remember, if you need to pause the video to work, please do that. Don't feel rushed. Okay, let's look at number 9. 63 times 12. Well, 63 times 2 is where we start. 63 times 2. All right, we're going to start with 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. 126. Okay. Now we have to deal with 63 times 10 because our 12 here is built of a 2 and a 10. We've multiplied 63 times 2. Now let's multiply 63 times 10. Well, I think we can all do that in our heads. That's going to give us 630. If we put those two products together, that's going to give us our final answer. Last one. This one is slightly different, but I think you can still handle it. Let's try it together. Number 10, 38 times 77. Well, here's what I know. A 77 is built of a 7 and a 70. Let's start with 7. 38 times 7. Well, 8 times 7 is 56. Carry the 5. 3 times 7 is 21. Plus our carried 5 is 26. I wonder what 38 times 70 is going to give us. If I'm using my powers of 10 understanding, I'm pretty sure that's going to give us 2,660. It's just one more power of 10. If you add those two answers together, you're going to get your final answer. Congratulations, you're able to solve level 1 and level 2 math problems. If you need to review this video, please do so. I'll see you again in our next one. Goodbye.